Hi everybody, and welcome to Outdoor Ed with Mary. If you've ever spent time digging in the dirt, and I hope you have, you've probably seen this creature. This squiggly, squirmy animal is the all-important earthworm. First off, let's talk about what an earthworm is. Many people, myself included, have mistakenly thought that earthworms were insects. But in order to be an insect, an adult must have 6 legs, 3 body sections, antennae, and an exoskeleton or hard shell. The worm doesn't have any of those. So if they're not insects, what are they? Worms are animals in a family all their own, called annelids. Their bodies are made of many little segments which the worm can squeeze and release to help it move and dig. They're also covered in tiny invisible hairs called setae that help them move. If you've ever seen a bird struggling to pull a worm out of the ground, you've seen a worm using its setae to help it hang on. Earthworms even have a tiny brain, and believe it or not, can have up to 10 hearts. Earthworms don't have any lungs, but do they breathe? Yes, just not like you and me. Worms actually breathe through their skin. They're able to extract oxygen from the water that's around them. This is why they need to stay a little bit wet in order to survive. And needing to stay wet is just one of the reasons that earthworms prefer the damp soil and try to avoid the sun. Now that we know what earthworms are and are not, let's talk about what makes them so important. One important job that earthworms do is provide a food source for many wild animals. Some creatures that rely on worms for food include all kinds of birds, mammals like possums, bears, raccoons, squirrels, foxes, and moles, and they also help feed snakes, salamanders, frogs, and toads. Another important service that earthworms provide is digging tunnels. When worms dig tunnels underground, they break up soil and make room for air, water, and helpful bacteria, all things that the plants above ground need to grow healthy and strong. Finally, and maybe most importantly, earthworms are our planet's recyclers. Their job is to eat the old dead plants and mushrooms and turn them into worm castings, a fancy word for worm poop, which is an amazing fertilizer that provides tons of nutrients to help new plants grow. Earthworms are doing this recycling all the time, all over the earth. In fact, if all the soil that earthworms have ever turned was piled up, it would cover the entire surface of the planet in a pile 300 miles deep. That's 50 times as high as Mount Everest. Without earthworms, we'd be living in a totally different world. You can watch earthworms work their magic at home with something called vermicomposting, which is kind of like regular composting, but with lots of help from worms. I'll put a link down below to a video showing you how to make your own worm bin at home. And that brings us to this week's Eco Challenge. Your Eco Challenge is to find a worm. You can look in a garden bed or anywhere with moist soil. When you find a worm, take a closer look. See if you can see its body segments or feel its setae helping it move. Don't forget to put your worm back in the soil when you're done so it can continue to help us turn waste into healthy soil. That's all for this week, friends. See you later. Bye.